You've probably seen an Advent wreath, right? That circle of evergreens and candles that pops up everywhere in December. It feels like a tradition that's been around forever. But its origin story is, well, it's way more surprising, a lot more practical, and frankly, so much bigger than you'd imagine.
So let's get right into it. The modern Advent wreath wasn't dreamed up in some ancient, solemn ceremony. Nope, it was actually invented to solve a super simple, relatable problem. Kids constantly asking, is it Christmas yet? And believe it or not, the answer involved a giant old cartwheel and a whole bunch of candles. But hang on, before we get to the cartwheel part of the story, let's just do a real quick breakdown of the symbolism in the wreaths we see today, because every single piece has a meaning, all designed to help us focus during this season of waiting. So what's really cool is how these all work together. You've got the circle, which has no beginning and no end, pointing to the eternity of God. Then there are the evergreens, which stay green even in the dead of winter, a perfect symbol of life and hope. And of course, the candles. They represent the light of Christ getting brighter and brighter as Christmas gets closer. Okay, now for that origin story I promised. This is the best part. This tradition isn't some foggy, ancient ritual that just sort of morphed over time. It was a specific invention by one man for a very, very specific purpose. Now sure, pre-Christian folks used wreaths and lights in the winter to hope for spring, and German Lutherines were connecting wreaths to Advent way back in the 1500s. But the tradition as we really know it has a clear starting point, 1839. And it was all thanks to a German pastor named Johann Henrich Wichern. So here was Wichern's problem. He was running a mission school for poor kids, and as you can imagine, they were unbelievably excited for Christmas. So excited, they were driving him a little crazy, asking him the same question every single day. He needed a visual aid, and fast. And his solution was absolutely brilliant. He took a large wooden ring from an old cartwheel and decided to turn it into a physical, tangible calendar that the children could actually see and understand. At this point, it was way less about deep symbolism and way more about practical education. So how many candles do you think were on this original Advent wreath? 4? Maybe 5? Oh, not even close. There were 28. Wuchron put 24 small red candles on it for the weekdays of Advent and 4 large white candles for the 4 Sundays. Every day, they'd light another one, and the kids could literally see Christmas getting closer. And that's really the key here. The purpose totally shifted over time. Wichern's cartwheel was a daily countdown, a very practical tool. As the custom spread, it got simplified into the smaller, more symbolic wreath we have today, with just 4 or 5 candles that focus on reflecting weekly instead of daily. So how did we get from that massive cartwheel to the 4-candle wreath we know today? Well, the modern tradition is neatly structured around the 4 weeks of Advent, and each week has its own special layered theme. And the colors are super important. You have 3 purple candles, which is the traditional color for Advent, symbolizing preparation and reflection, but then you have that one pink candle. That one's special. It's lit on the 3rd Sunday, which is called Rejoice Sunday, and it marks a big shift from just waiting to feeling real joy. And yeah, some wreaths even have a 5th white candle in the middle, the Christ candle, that gets lit right on Christmas. Each week just builds on the one before it, kind of creating this story arc for the whole season. It's a journey that starts with hope, moves to peace, discovers joy, and finishes with love. So let's just walk through how this beautiful story unfolds, week by week. Okay, so the journey kicks off on the 1st Sunday of Advent, and it's all centered on that foundational theme of hope. The first purple candle, often called the prophecy candle, gets lit. This one little flame in the darkness is meant to symbolize that eager expectation of the prophets, that feeling of waiting for a huge promise to be fulfilled. It's a really active, expectant kind of hope. On the 2nd Sunday, another candle is lit, and the focus shifts a little bit inward, toward the theme of peace. This is the Bethlehem candle. It doesn't just represent the absence of conflict, but more of an internal sense of preparation and stillness. It reflects that quiet journey of Mary and Joseph and the promise of a peace that really calms the soul. The 3rd Sunday. Now this marks a very deliberate and visible turning point in the season. After all that solemn preparation, the theme is now joy. And this is where we light that unique pink candle, the shepherd's candle. It represents that explosion of joy the shepherds felt when they heard the good news. You can literally see the light starting to win out over the darkness, a reminder that the waiting itself can actually be a joyful thing.
And finally, on the last Sunday of Advent, with Christmas just days away, the whole journey culminates in the theme of love. The last purple candle, the angel's candle, is lit. It represents the unconditional love that is the entire point of the story, the love announced by the angels. With all 4 candles burning, the wreath is just full of light, a beautiful symbol that the time of waiting is finally over and what was hoped for has arrived. So why has this tradition, which started as a simple countdown for kids, really endured and spread all over the world? I mean, what does it offer us today? Well, in a season that can be totally chaotic and commercialized, the Advent wreath does the exact opposite of speeding things up. It forces you to pause. Each week, that simple act of lighting a candle and thinking about hope, peace, joy, and love, it becomes an anchor. It's a way to mark time meaningfully instead of just letting it all rush by. This quote really just gets to the heart of it all. The wreath itself, the cartwheel, the evergreens, the candles, that's not the point. Its true value is in how it helps people connect with the deeper meaning of the season. It's basically just a tool for reflection.
So, from a practical cartwheel for impatient children to a global symbol of hopeful anticipation, the Advent wreath is a tradition that evolved to meet a deep human need, the need to pause, to reflect, and to wait with purpose. So it kind of leaves us with a question. In the rush of our own lives, what are the simple traditions that help you slow down and find some meaning?